The Ghost in the Gold Mask. A Pompeian mystery. The year is 1748. The air above the Bay of Naples shimmered with summer heat, but underground, the air was cool, choked with ash, and heavy with the silence of 2 millennia. Charles III, the King of Naples, had ordered the secret, systematic excavation of a Gosati. His excavators, driven by the lure of ancient treasure, were boring through the solid crust of solidified volcanic ash that had entombed the city in 79 AD in a forgotten house. A few feet from what would later be known as the House of the Golden Bracelet, a laborer named Antonio felt his shovel strike something soft, yet resilient. Not marble, not pottery, but cloth. He cleared the ash, his breath catching as the sight resolved itself. It was a Roman woman. She wasn't a skeleton. The ash, settling in precise layers, had perfectly encased her. When Antonio carefully brushed away the crust, the air rushed in and the form collapsed. A perfect void was left, a tragic mold of her last moment. But resting within the cavity, where her head should have been, was a sight that defied belief. A funerary mask, not of painted plaster, but of pure, beaten gold. This wasn't just a discovery. It was an artifact of impossibility. Roman art, unlike Egyptian, did not typically create golden funerary masks. Roman burial rites emphasized practical stone and earth. Who was this woman, and why was she interred like a pharaoh? The gold was unlike any Antonio had seen. It was thin, hammered with such skill that it captured the serene, elegant features of a mature woman, a powerful patrician. Her eyes, though voids, seemed to gaze with cold imperiousness. Word of the Golden Ghost reached the king. Charles III, a patron of the burgeoning Enlightenment, ordered a clandestine transfer. He knew the world would clamor for this Roman relic, yet its unique nature threatened to overturn decades of art historical understanding. The mask, now in the king's private collection, was studied in secret. The gold was traced not to Roman mines, but to a vast, untouched vein in the newly conquered province of Dacia Modande, Romania. The craftsmanship, too, had subtle, non-metallic flourish as a geometric precision rarely seen in Pompeian frescoes, which favored mythological fluidity. De Scholars, under royal duress, concocted a theory for the public. The mask was a unique imported treasure, a gift from a foreign dignitary, thereby preserving the established narrative of Roman art. But one young scholar, a brilliant American-educated historian named Marcus Rossi, assigned to catalog the discovery, noticed a chilling detail. The inside of the mask, preserved by the lack of oxygen, carried an inscription, a single, minute Latin word scratched with a tool finer than any scalpel. Liberta, a freedwoman. A slave, granted liberty, could amass enough power and wealth to command a gold mask of Dacian gold, buried in an aristocratic house in Pompeii. Marcus realized the truth. This mask wasn't an anomaly. It was a silent protest. This woman was a commercial titan, likely controlling the very Dacian gold trade. She used her immense, outsider wealth to defy the Roman elite's aesthetic standards. Roman art, famous for its realism, its unflinching portrayal of wrinkles, scars, and age-verism and marble busts, was a political tool, a way for old families to show their virtue in history. This woman, the Golden Ghost, had used the most non-Roman of art forms to create her own identity. She didn't want a realistic portrait. She wanted an immortal, idealized image, one that screamed power and foreign wealth right in the face of the traditional Roman nobility. Her art piece was her final, defiant statement. I may not have your family history, but I have the gold of an empire. The mask was proof that Roman art was not a monolithic style dictated by Rome, but a dynamic, sometimes rebellious, interplay of local power, foreign influence, and personal ambition. It was the original self-made millionaire story, immortalized in an impossible metal. Marcus, fearing the king's wrath, never published the truth of the inscription, but he made a single, precise drawing of the mask and the word dollar liberta, dollar, before the king had the mask permanently lost in a private vault. Today, Visitors to the National Archaeological Museum of Naples marvel at the incredible frescoes and statues rescued from Pompeii. But few know that the greatest artistic statement, the one that defined ambition, wealth, and the sheer audacity of an outsider in the Roman Empire remains hidden, a testament to the fact that even 2,000 years ago, art was the ultimate expression of power and a voice for those who refused to be silenced.